My biggest strength in the kitchen, to me personally, would be my ability to communicate. If I don't know what's going on, I will ask somebody. I mean, if you want something accomplished and I don't know exactly what you're saying, I'll just ask you to show me a demo. I'm very good at explaining what I want to another person and understanding their ideas in turn. And I also really think that another one of my strengths is not only being able to communicate, but knowing when to communicate. Like, there's a time to ask questions, and then if you don't know something, it's kind of like, you know, at one point it's just a problem and you have to find a solution for that. So, I mean, sometimes it's a matter of like you're running out of sugar and you have to make something, you know, you need to know who to go to for that. Do you go to your head chef? Do you go to your supply manager? Stuff like that. Like a total functioning overall amount of communication, like in and around the kitchen, just for safety, and then also just knowing how to handle yourself. So I actually, before going to culinary school, I was going to be a high school social studies teacher, and I got really good at communicating with my students, from one, just standing up there and talking to them, but also having them come to me one-on-one. And I think that especially in the kitchen, if I don't know something, I will go seek out the answer, and if I see someone that kind of struggling a little bit, I'll go over and be like, hey, do you need help, or would you like me to show you how to do that? Like, I can listen as well as I can teach, you know. Actually, right now, I'm more of a student in the kitchen. I'm, you know, very young, almost just fresh out of culinary school, and I know I still have a lot to learn. Like, I'm nowhere near one of those great cocky chefs, you know what I mean? I'd love to be, but at the same time, I understand that people have pearls of wisdom, and I just want to soak it up. Like, I'm young, but that's just it. I'm a clean slate. Like, they can teach me. I don't have bad habits yet, so I am ready to be taught and not yet be the teacher. But if someone, like I said, if somebody needed help, I would feel comfortable with what I'm doing to explain it to them and know that we could definitely be on the same page as far as that goes. Tonight you're looking at an anniversary cake. It's basically our prompt for our cake that we got each week. This week was particularly an anniversary. Our chef explained to us that people will oftentimes come in for their 50th or their golden anniversary and hand you a picture of their cake and be like, hey, we would really love for you to recreate this for us. And tonight, the reason she's having us do this project is because it is very much classical decorating. It's all straight icing, no fancy fondants or gum pastes or anything like that. Like, very much a 100% edible cake that you can just cut through, no problems. And she wants us to know how to do those very, very basic things, because, I mean, if that's where your art started, you can't progress if you don't know the basics, which I definitely agree with. And there's something to be said to really being able to make something beautiful out of the most simple things. Well, basically you scale all your ingredients, you have your mixer ready to go, and you have your recipe card, you just follow that to a T. I mean, basically cooking is following directions. Just make sure that you have your math done when you have your measurements and everything is scaled, like liquid measures for liquids, and weighing things out, and then just following your recipe, applying, like, if you're supposed to add sugar at a certain step, make sure you put it in at that step, not at a different point, because it'll turn out something different. Like, baking is a science, and oddly enough, if you don't get it right, it'll tell on you. So it's important just to have all your ingredients laid out, everything measured properly, and then follow recipe. Just listen to what you're supposed to do. Oh wow. Oh, one of my favorite foods to work with would have to be chocolate. There's so much you can do with it. You can put fillings in it, you can shape it, you can dip strawberries, you can make it colors, and it sets up pretty quickly as long as you get all your tempering and stuff done. But it's shiny, you can pour it into things, and you can put gold leaf on it, and it's like this tiny little individual gift where I can just be like, I made this chocolate for you. It's incredibly easy once you figure out how to do it, but they are beautiful. I mean, you just kind of need a steady hand to pipe everything out, and then other than that, boom. Ideally, to work in a kitchen with chocolate, you would want something with minimal amounts of humidity. You would want just to have everything where you would know where it'd be, like everything properly kind of mise en place, where you would have a marble slab if you're going to do tabling, and just different methods for cooling. My personal favorite is I just like to temper it and then just kind of seed method, just add chocolates in. I like to just get everything at my station so I'm ready to go. So once I pull off my chocolate, because I only have a few minutes while it's in that certain temperature range to really work with it, and I want to go as soon as I'm ready. I have something that I need to get done, and that's what I'm there to do. So I was a quarter away from graduating from Ohio State in Columbus, and I was just not happy, and I thought to myself, I couldn't do this every day for the rest of my life. Like, I would be miserable, and that's no real way to earn a living. And I got a job. I worked for a master chocolatier, and I enjoyed it. And I'm always been a creative person, and I was going to be a history teacher, and that's kind of a struggle because people frown upon it when you make up history. So here I was allowed to very much blossom and And if I had an idea, like if you showed me a rose and you're like, do this, and you showed another person, ours would be totally different because we see things differently, you know what I mean? And it allows me to really put my personal creative spin on something and make it beautiful, but at the same time, mine. I always just wanted an outlet for creativity, and who doesn't want to make stuff that's pretty and tastes good? So, well, the Art Institute, again, I went to Ohio State, which is a huge school. Like, there were 50,000 people there, you know, at any given time, just as undergrads. And I came here, I'd never had legitimate one-on-one experience on a collegiate level before. And I come here, and if I have a question, I go to my chef who knows my name, you know what I mean, and will very much take the time to show and explain stuff to me. And that's priceless, you know what I mean? In order for me to get literally hands-on training from another person who has very much done this as their entire career, I can't get that in a textbook, you know what I mean? Like, I can't just go and read something or take a test and know that. Like, I came to the Art Institute because of that personal experience that they gave to me as a student, you know what I mean? Like, I was able to connect with my teachers in a way that I never could do if I went to a large school. Like, I got individual attention, which was really something that was important to me. I think the Art Institute has had a very positive effect on me as far as what I'm trying to do. I work in a large environment now, like kitchen-wise, probably bigger than I'll ever see professionally, which is kind of sad because you're spoiled, but at the same time, I work at a fast pace, which I know that any bake shop or even a restaurant will demand of an employee, as they should. I mean, you have certain criteria and orders you have to fill. If you can't work to those standards, then, you know, there's a problem. So I like that these kitchens provide like a fast pace, working with other students and other people closely to accomplish like a project as a whole, or even as an individual. Like, it's very, the movement is fluid, where you can work as a team to create something, or you can work individually to create something. Honestly, that's, like I said, I like to make things that are beautiful and taste good, but at the same time, I can use all kinds of colors. I'm not really limited by anything but my own imagination. There are so many different mediums that I can incorporate into one sculpture or showpiece or order for a client that makes it beautiful. And I could do something, like if you handed me two pictures, you're like, I have this one item A and item B, and you're like, I kind of want a combo of the two. I could sketch something up for you, and I could talk to you one-on-one as a client, and we could figure out what you wanted. And that's what I think is so beautiful about this, where I can create what you want, your vision, I can give you my vision, or we can make a combination of the two. It's really, you're not limited by anything but your imagination, and that's pretty neat. So, I mean, I would say first, it's probably an art. You have to have a passion for this. You have to research things. You have to know what's kind of popular and what looks good together. You have to practice. And, you know, if you want to charge $4 for a cupcake, it's better be a pretty good cupcake. But at the same time, it's also a business, because if you can't manage yourself into production, I mean, you're always going to have deadlines that you're going to meet, whether it be for a client or personal goals you set for yourself. If you can't manage that, you're going to crumble. So it's kind of a combination of everything, and it's definitely something that I enjoy doing, and I have no problem spending my time on and talking with other people about it, because it's a part of me. So whether it be an art or a business or what have you, it's something that feels right to me, and that's the most important thing.
That's a wrap.